The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, everybody, he's a macho man. Savage, you're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com. The best in the business. So say it, the macho king.
Wrestling fans throughout radio land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock, you hear guys like myself, the Ugandan Giant Kamala. And that's my story.
You can hear words to describe the Trash Talking Radio Show from 7 to whenever we get done is by using a screwdriver. Cut, roast beef. This is Flunever Sean, the other half of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. That's the trashy one and the loony one together forever.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ivan Koloff. I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. It's a trash 7 to 10. Tuesday nights, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Alright, hey, this is the Animal, one half of the world famous Take in the Road Warriors. Listen to them. If you know what's good for you, you'll listen to Trash Talking Radio or else.
Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Hulk Hogan. Hulk, what do you got to say about Trash Talking Radio?
Well, I gotta say that I just bought Trash Talking Radio. You're out of the picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch because what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan's brand new Trash Talking Radio runs wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this, when the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
It is Trash Talking Radio. It is Tuesday night. Seems like we just did this a few minutes ago, but
It's deja vu all over again.
Yeah. See? Does it work? It worked! Huh! Hard to believe. Screw it up again. See if three times the charm. Okay. Okay, it's there again. I wish they didn't have the close button so close to the number 1 button. So maybe I should make that a number 4 or something and just swap the numbers so that it's not so close to that close button. All right, we're up and everything's running. It seems that we can be heard. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if we can have a show today. So, well, I guess I can turn my flashlight off on my phone since I figured out. Okay. All right. Well, since I didn't do this a while ago, how are you doing? How's everything? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's?
Everything was good, Mike. I was taking care of my daughter. That's why I wasn't on the show for a while. And she had some hip surgery, and she's doing much better, so I'm back. It was a good Christmas and a good New Year's, and I'm excited for 2025.
Yeah, 2025. Who would have thought? Man, I can't even imagine, like, 40 years ago. I would have never imagined I'd be here 40 years later.
2025.
Oh, man. Crazy stuff.
I thought we'd have flying cars by now.
Yeah. Yeah, where's our flying cars? I got my electric car. I don't know. Anyway, so, boy, we got a lot of stuff to talk about in a short period of time. The one thing is, of course, the fires out in California. Hello? All right. So I lost audio there for a second. I seem to have frozen, then Doug seems to be okay. But for some reason, I thought I figured all the problems out 2 hours, 3 hours before.
It's the gremlins.
Yeah.
It's the gremlins.
This camera, I love this camera because I mean, if you were in the room that I was in right now, that I'm in right now, it's almost pitch dark, and my face looks like it's got a big spotlight on it. So, yeah, you know, it is the way it is. So, anyway, all right, so we might as well get things started here, and I'm not sure where to start on all this. Let's start with something fun.
Yeah, that's good.
I've got a bunch of birthdays that we've missed, and these are good ones. You'll like these. Dick Van Dyke. How old is he? He is 99.
99.
Taylor Swift.
32.
Close, 35. Jamie Foxx.
Jamie, I would say he's 55.
You're within the 5 points. He's 57. Steve Buscemi.
Don't know who he is.
He gets a lot of weird roles, but he's also a weird-looking person. Like he was in that, what was it, Fargo. He was in Fargo, and I think he was the guy that was throwing people into the wood chipper. He's got a lot of really strange parts he gets. He's 67. John Davidson. The reason I know him is my mother was in love with him and had all of his records and stuff. He's a singer. He's 83. Billy Van Zandt, one of the Van Zandts. I don't know which Van. I don't know who Billy is.
I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
it's be close to each other. So I would say 82.
67.
Wow, he's much younger than that.
Yeah, he. I think his his brother was in Sopranos. What was his name? It was a Van Zandt. I can't remember which one he was. Anyway, Steven Spielberg.
Oh, he's got to be in his 80s.
Close. 78. Brad Pitt.
Brad is probably in his late 40s.
61.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
He would love you, though, because he aged pretty good, I think. He aged pretty.
He's aged well.
Katie Holmes. I can't remember who she is, but I know she's a name.
Don't know.
Christina Aguilera.
Oh, she's got to be in her 40s.
Yeah, she is. She is 44. Billie Eilish.
Not Billie English, Billie Eilish. I don't know who Billie Eilish is.
She's a really young kid singer. Well, I say young kid, but she's 23. So she's really not young. But
well, she's a young kid. To
be. Yeah.
But for pop music, that's old.
Yeah. Well, when you think of the next one, you may not. Keith Richards.
Keith is 86.
116. No, he's 81. Vanessa Trump.
Vanessa Trump.
I'm not sure who Vanessa Trump is. Must be an ex.
38.
She's 47. I'm not sure. I was thinking, who I was thinking was the current Melania.
Well, you were talking about Melania.
Yeah, I was thinking Vanessa. I don't know who Vanessa is. So, next one. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Don't know.
I thought he was older than us. He's been in a lot of movies. He was in The New Roadhouse. Actually, pretty good. Actually, Roadhouse was really good the second time. Yeah, I liked Roadhouse the first time, but the second time, it was awesome. It had a nice. They did a nice twist on that show. But he is 44. Alyssa Milano. Do you remember Alyssa Milano?
No.
She was in. What was it? Was it? Well, she's a singer too, but she was also in. Geez, I can't think of what program she was in. Well, she's 52. Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals. She's got to be 55.
You're close, 51. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia.
She was in Seinfeld.
Dreyfus, Richard Dreyfus.
Yeah, she was in Seinfeld. She played. What was the girl's name?
The main character.
Yeah. She was.
Yeah. What was her name?
Freaking A! I can't remember her name.
I can't think of it.
And the
so
funny.
She's probably 59.
64. And
64.
the interesting thing about that is she's the wealthiest person that was on Seinfeld.
Really?
You know why?
Why?
She bought the library.
I think Seinfeld would have bought the library.
Yeah, he didn't want it. He was already rich. And he makes a lot of money on residuals and stuff too, but she bought the library. Trace Adkins, country singer.
Yeah. 41.
He is 63.
Oh my goodness.
Now this one's gonna knock you for a loop. Faye Dunaway,
92,
84.
84.
LL Cool J,
LL Cool J. He's probably in his 60s.
not quite. He's 57.
57.
Yeah, I didn't know because I wasn't sure. I mean, I wasn't listening to that kind of music, and
But I've known his name for a long time.
yeah, I've known him for a long time. He's friends with my my buddy up in the rapper, or not the rapper, yeah, I'll think of his name. Anyway, Dave Grohl.
Don't know.
He was one of the drummers for Nirvana.
Ah, okay.
56. And lastly, but not leastly, Jason Bateman.
Okay. Tell me who he is.
I'm hoping I'm right about what I'm going to say. He is now a producer. He was also in, not Family Ties, what's the other one? There were two of them that were running. One was Family Ties, which his sister was in Family Ties with Michael J. Fox. He was in the other one, whichever that other one was. And also, he was also in Ozark. And he's really a good actor, actually. He's now a producer and filmmaker and all that now. But he's 56. So, yeah.
Well, I knew more than I usually know.
Yeah, there were some good ones in there. I thought they were cool because a lot of them were our age. And then there was, of course, Dick Van Dyke, who is older. He's up there with God.
He lost his house. Didn't he lose his house?
He may have.
I think he did because he was the one that says, "Don't worry about me."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's that thing. That's so sad that stuff that's going on. And the worst ones are the ones where the insurance company bailed and decided they weren't going to let them renew or anything.
So many people have lost their insurance.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. If you lose your $1 million house, it's a lot of, and your memories and stuff. It's just really, really sad.
Well, in all my emergency disaster work, it's the memories that people.
Yes. Here's one that says, "I lost my home in the LA fires. This is what I'm holding on to. It says almost all evidence of our home's existence is gone. Save the growing text record of hundreds of messages of concern, condolences, and offers to help. And my grateful response, each one punctuated by jokes and deflecting. Michael O'Connell lost his house in Altadena in Los Angeles. Wildfires, a neighborhood that taught him many things, perspectives, gratitude, and most recently, that he's not good in a crisis." And that that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize. I mean, they say, "Oh, well, they're millionaires. They can afford it." No, that's not even the point. The point is that even if they can afford it, you still can't replace memories. And I feel
That's
bad.
That's the problem. That's the problem in disasters. Is everything goes, and what you cry about is the pictures.
Yeah. It's wild. It's just actually last night. It's funny you said that. I was going through old emails that I sent, and I was trying to figure out. I was going through and trying to clean up some of my email boxes, and I found a bunch of emails that I sent from Ken's house to me, and I thought, what are these? And I started looking at them, and I apparently was taking songs that we were recording, and I was emailing them to myself from his house. And I have a whole bunch of songs that I had not heard in 15 years. No, not 15. I think I figured they were 2017 or 16 or something like that. but it was just
Still, that's a lot of it.
yeah, and I heard his voice in the background, and that
Yeah, that may not be a good idea.
yeah, I gotta face the fact that that reminds me. Today is an anniversary of mine, and it was 8 years ago today that Ken and I auditioned for America's Got Talent. And I didn't even remember it until it came up in my timeline. And that was hard. It was very, very hard to deal with. Knowing that that we could not be where we should have been. He was a heck of a great keyboard player and songwriter. And, I miss him a lot. So, anyway, all right. So, he's one of the many that have lost their homes, and just is really sad. And actually, the guy that I know, he posted some pictures of his place. Let's see. Going to see.
You know, there are firefighters that are out fighting fires that have lost their homes.
I believe that.
Yeah. There are teachers teaching in school that have lost their homes.
Yeah.
Let me see. 2,000 students have been displaced. 340 district staff members of the LA United School District have lost their homes. And there's teaching today.
Okay, here's the guy that I know. His name is Pete Ferrero. He posted pictures, I believe, in here that show just how bad it is. Or maybe it's not where I saw it. Where did I see it? I thought I saw it. Oh, here it is. Here's his house. Here's what's left of his house. How do I get this?
Nothing's left.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing left. It's just a couple walls. And to me, that just... I just can't even, I don't know. It just is a sad situation. It came in, and look at all the houses or the cars and stuff that are sitting there on the streets, that there's nothing left of them. It's just, it's weird to think that the place I stayed in last time I was in L.A. is probably gone. Because that place was right around where these fires are. It's really sad. I mean, I can't even imagine coming home to that. It was like tornadoes of fire were coming through, too. I don't know if you've seen that or heard that.
Yeah, I've been watching. And the sad thing is that they're expecting hurricane force winds today and tomorrow. So this is going to get worse again.
Ugh, I just can't imagine. My thoughts go out to the people out there. And
another example where money doesn't help you sometimes.
Yeah. You can't get back what was burned to a crisp.
No, and home replacement is more expensive because can you imagine the construction industry? There's not going to be enough people. There's not going to be enough supplies.
Yep. Yeah, it's really sad. It's sad on so many levels because there's, it's something that, none of these people saw coming. No, they couldn't plan for it. And,
There's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, just happened so fast.
It just happened.
Says here.
They find out it's arson.
Oh yeah, and then there were arsonists out there too that were starting fires. Disney's donating.
They got a homeless guy yesterday who was starting a fire in a park.
I just don't get it. Disney to donate $15 million to LA fire relief efforts. Studios are mobilizing.
Did something good.
Yeah, they're mobilizing the response efforts amid the devastation. Paramount Global commits $1 million to multiple nonprofits. As major fires rage in Los Angeles County, destroying more than 10,000 structures, leaving multiple people dead and causing tens of billions of dollars worth of damage. Studios are mobilizing their response efforts. The Burbank-based Disney said that on Friday it would be committing $15 million to various relief efforts. These funds would be earmarked for the American Red Cross, Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation, Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, and other organizations. As this tragedy continues to unfold, the Walt Disney Company is committed to supporting our community and our employees, as well as work together to recover and rebuild from this unbelievable devastation, according to Bob Iger. Walt Disney came to Los Angeles with little more than his limitless imagination, and it was here he chose to make his home, pursue his dreams, and create extraordinary storytelling that means so much to so many people around the world. We're proud to provide assistance to this resilient and vibrant community in this moment of need. So, yeah, it's just really weird. It says here, the same hour, Paramount's global co-chiefs, Brian Robbins, Chris McCarthy, and George Cheeks, wrote a memo to staff that stated the company would donate $1 million to the Los Angeles Fire Department Relief, California Fire Foundation, Red Cross Direct Relief, World Central Kitchen, and Best Friends Animal Society. So, man, it's just really...
Put a plug in for me and my group. The Salvation Army is there in full force.
Okay.
Feeding people and giving money away to people so that they can rent and get clothes, because that's Red Cross helps with that too. But the Red Cross has limited amount of money per person, and so the Salvation Army comes in behind. And,
if you were to donate to the Salvation Army, can you donate and say, I want this to go to here or there?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
You can? Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's something I may consider doing, because I got some clothes I don't need anymore that I use for photo shoots. Maybe use
clothes, maybe not, but if you donated money,
okay,
you can specify what you want it to go to.
Okay. I was just thinking, because I've got all these clothes.
Clothes don't really leave the area unless there's a specific request for it.
Okay. Well, yeah, just really strange to think about this situation, because many times you think, hey, they got a lot of money, they'll be okay, and then you think, well, maybe not. I mean, that's a lot of money and a lot of, there's benefit concerts being put out to help raise money for the situation. Fire Aid benefit concert for California wildfire victims set at Intuit Dome. Fundraising show set for January 30th will announce its performers in the upcoming days. And here you see a good shot of
the devastation.
Yeah, I mean, there's some beachfront property there, but not going to do you much good. Brian...
and those people never would have thought, most of those people never would have thought the fires would get to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're in these communities, and along the ocean, you would think the fire wouldn't have crossed the Pacific Coast Highway.
Right.
It jumped.
It's wild. I'm just...
Well, can I tell you some of the worst
Sure.
part of this? Yeah, hotels and Airbnbs and essential suppliers are price gouging. In California, you're only allowed to increase in an emergency, increase your prices by 10%. People are increasing it by 50 to 100%.
Jeez.
And they're going to be prosecuted.
Wow.
And there's been 34 arrests as of yesterday. For drone-related incidents, but burglary and curfew violations and being where you're not supposed to be. But here's the sick thing. GoFundMe operations.
Yeah.
There's a lot of GoFundMe out there right now.
Right.
Many people are scamming it.
Yeah, I was afraid you'd say that. That's a shame. That's really a shame. Some people have no scruples at all.
They have no scruples at all.
Jeez. I don't understand it.
I don't understand that mindset, but it exists.
Yeah. Well, speaking of scams, I got probably the 5th email of this scam that's out there. Actually, I've got. Well, I don't have my thing open. Thought I had it open. See if I have this letter I could show you. And this letter is always the same, regardless of where I get it. But all right, let's see. Speaking of scammers. Okay, gonna open. And should be down here. There it is. Okay. Here's the letter. I'll read it to you since it's so small. Okay. It says, I know that calling this number, it's all zeros, so he doesn't know my number apparently, or visiting, and my address is in there, would be a effective way to talk to you in case you don't cooperate. Don't even try to hide this. You have no idea what I'm capable of in Dauphin. Now, first off, I've gotten this letter like over the years. It's almost exactly the same letter. It's just they changed the address. The thing is, Comcast had a breach a little while ago, and when they breached, they lost their list of accounts and their information as far as address goes. They didn't get the phone number though. That's the funny part. So here we go. It says, I suggest you read this message carefully. Take a moment to chill, breathe, and analyze it thoroughly. Because we're about to discuss a deal between you and me, and I don't play games. You don't know me, however, I know you, and right now you are thinking, how, correct? Well, you've been trending on thin ice with your browsing habits, scrolling those videos and clicking those links, stumbling upon not-so-safe sites. I placed a malware on a porn site that you visited to watch, if you know what I mean. And you got busy enjoying those videos. Your system functioning as a RDP, remote device, when provided me with complete accessibility to your system. I can look at everything on your display, flick on your camera and mic, and you wouldn't even notice. Oh, and I've got access to all your emails, contacts, and social media accounts too. First off, I can tell you that he doesn't. I'll tell you why. My real name doesn't exist on the internet. So he has nothing.
But you always fight trash everywhere you go.
Yes. My name does not exist on the internet. And so
I know, so I can blackmail you because I know your real name.
you can do, yes, you could. But it's funny because, and I could blackmail you too. Here comes the sun. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, let's leave that alone.
So anyway, it's saying, been keeping tabs on your pathetic existence for a while now. It's simply you had luck that I accessed your misdemeanor. It's simply your bad luck that I had accessed your misdemeanor. I invested in more time than I should have looking at your data, extracted quite a bit of information on your system, and I've seen it all. Yeah. I've got footage of you doing filthy things in your house. Well, he's been in my house if he's seen filthy things, because I have a filthy house. And it says, nice setup, by the way. I have developed videos and screenshots where on one side of the screen there's videos you were watching, and on the other part is someone doing nasty things. With just a single click, I can send filth to every single one of your contacts. I see you're getting anxious. Let's get real. As a family man, I'm ready to wipe the slate clean and let you continue your life and wipe your slate clean. I'm going to give you two options. First, alternative is to turn a deaf ear to this email. Let me tell you what's going to happen if you pick this option. Your video will get sent to all your contacts. The video is lit, and I can't even fathom the humiliation you endure when your colleagues, friends, and family watch it. But here, that's life, ain't it? Don't be playing the victim here. Wiser option is to pay me and be confidential about it. We'll call it a privacy fee. Let me tell you what happens when you go with this option. Your dirty little secret remains private. I'll destroy all the data and evidence once you come through with the payment. You need to make payment by Bitcoin only. Pay attention. I'm telling you straight. We gotta make a deal. I want you to know I'm coming at you with good intentions. I'm a man of my words. He wants $1,950, and he gave me his Bitcoin information. Once you pay up, you'll sleep like a baby. I keep my word. Now, first off, if this person is unscrupulous enough to do this, do you really think that he's going to just drop it and never do anything with it again? No,
that's the first 1950. They'll be up.
Exactly. Second off, there's no way he has this information because everything he says points. I've gotten this letter probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 times over the years. I've never paid a single penny to anyone, and they've never done this deal anyway. And actually, they sent it to one of my aliases a long time ago, but. It's just funny to me. I mean, if you were just a basic guy and didn't understand anything about computers, you would think it's a problem. But I know that they were breached. I know that Comcast was breached. They lost all the names. That's when this started happening, and they got my name, and they got my email address, and that's it. They don't know anything else. They don't even have the city that I'm in here on this. Oh yeah, they do. There it is. It says Dolphin. So, but anyway, pay attention. You've got 1 day to sort this out. I got this 3 days ago. And I only accept Bitcoin. I have a special pixel with this email message, and now I've notified that you've read this. The email and Bitcoin address are custom made for you, untraceable. If you're unfamiliar with Bitcoin, Google it. You can buy online or through Bitcoin ATM in your neighborhood. There's no point in replying to this email or negotiating. It's pointless. My price is fixed. As soon as you send my complete payment, my system will inform me. I will wipe out the dirt. Remember, if I catch that you shared or discussed this mail with anyone else, the video will instantly start to be sent to your contacts. So be prepared. You'll be getting it. You'll probably get this video. So I think you're on my email list.
Mike, why do they pick a number like $1,950?
Well, that's actually the least expensive one I've gotten so far. I've gotten, I usually get around $2,500. He's a cheap guy, so I should probably pay him because he's the cheapest. Let me know if you get that video. I'd like to see which video they're talking about. So it says honestly.
Well, I bet you it might scare somebody that's been on those sites.
Well, you got to be careful because there's no way they can do. Well, I know that he doesn't have my phone number. I know he doesn't have my information, and because, like I said, I'm not on the internet at all. I do have one. I am on. I have an account with my bank. That's it. There's nowhere else. I don't use my real name anywhere because, to me, the internet's just a tool for trying to promote my stuff. And the people that know my name are few and far between, because there's really no reason to know my name.
No.
So, idiot Leonardo DiCaprio flees Los Angeles on a private jet as deadly wildfires continue to rage.
There you go.
Yeah, so, like I said, I'm not, I actually think it's funny because...
He's flying to one of his other houses.
Probably. Basically that's it. Honestly, these online tips about covering your camera aren't as useless as they seem. Now I'm waiting for my payment. So he's going to be waiting for a little while, probably forever. So,
He probably sends out hundreds of these.
Oh, yeah.
Sits back and wait till somebody bites.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, people like this, that's what they do. They think that fear will make people. But even if he was real, which he's not, even if he was real, I wouldn't give him money because he just wouldn't. He wouldn't delete it. There we go. Okay, so he probably would never delete it if he was a real thing. So, but you know, that's the way people are. People are scumbags. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to see if I got all the articles that were about the... do you know that Mel Gibson gave a major update in his long-awaited sequel, The Passion of the Christ?
No.
Well, apparently he says... it's an acid trip. I didn't see The Passion of the Christ, so I have no idea if it was any good or any bad or whatever.
It was very good.
Was it? Okay.
It's disturbing.
Okay.
Because they really go into what happened to him.
Okay, so it looked realistic then.
Yes.
It says here, Mel Gibson
When he got whipped, I don't know how they did it, but you could see the flesh coming off.
Wow. Huh. Says he gave an update on the long-awaited sequel to the 2004 blockbuster Passion of the Christ. Speaking of Joe Rogan's podcast, freaking A. Hold on, this is why we have blockers, so that it doesn't screw up my flow. Says the actor-director says he plans to begin filming the sequel in 2026. The title, The Resurrection of the Christ. I'm hoping to start filming next year sometime. There's a lot required because the script is an acid trip. I've never read anything like it. There's some crazy stuff. In order to tell the story properly, you have to start with the fall of the angels. You're in another realm. You need to go to hell. You need to go to Sheol. Is it Sheol? S-H-E? Okay.
Yes.
So Rogan says, so you're going to have hell? You're going to have Satan? He nodded. You're going to have his origin. I have ideas about how to do that and how to invoke things to depict that. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I'm going to require a lot of planning. I'm not sure I can pull it off. It's super ambitious, but I'm going to take a crack at it. It's about trying to find a way in that it's not cheesy or obvious. It's like a magic trick. The story goes from the fall of the angels to the death of the last apostle. And the director said an original Russian or Passion star, Jim... Hey! Knock it off. You don't get the bottle. Stop fighting. Okay. He says he suggested the dialogue will likely be in English instead of Aramaic. Is it Aramaic?
Aramaic.
Or Hebrew, as this story's concepts are rather difficult to understand, and having actors speak in another language might be a step too far. He said every single one of the apostles died rather than renounce their belief, and nobody dies for a lie. He also recognized that the resurrection is the toughest part of the Christ story for most people. Who wants to back up 3 days later and after he gets murdered? Who gets back up 3 days after he's been murdered? Buddha didn't do that. So
every other major prophet is in the grave except for one.
Oh, okay.
From historical standards.
Okay.
You got to believe it. I mean, you got to have faith to
Right.
believe it.
Yeah.
If you don't have faith, it's a fairy tale.
Yeah. Well, I thought you'd appreciate this article just from the standpoint that he's trying to take on a big piece of history.
It's huge because he's going to have to show how the disciples died, and they died in horrific ways.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, some were tied to 4 horses and pulled apart.
Really?
Some were sawed to death.
Jeez.
Some were hung on a cross and crucified. Peter was hung upside down and crucified because he refused to be killed the same way Christ was. He wasn't worthy of it, so he was crucified upside down.
Wow.
So
that's man.
That's an ambitious thing.
I really, wow. I just don't even imagine what. Wow, that's pretty heavy.
Well, a lot of people could not watch The Passion of Christ. It's not something you would show your children.
Right. Yeah, I remember when it came out, it was pretty controversial.
Yes, it was. I had a hard time watching it, but I found it to be very realistic.
Oh, okay.
From the account that I know and the study that I've done, it's very realistic.
I'm really
But there were some things I quibbled with. But when you do a film, you have to take some artistic license.
Yes.
Because, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like The Chosen. Have you heard of The Chosen?
I didn't see it, but yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, so there's a lot of artistic license in The Chosen, and some fundamentals won't watch it because it isn't 100% true with Scripture.
Okay.
But my wife and I enjoy it immensely, and it's a good evangelistic tool. And it's not even an evangelistic tool, it's just good portrayal of who he was.
Wow.
And why things happened and why he said what he said and did what he did. But there's a ton of artistic license in it.
Huh.
And dialogue that you don't find in Scripture but makes sense as they portray it.
Okay.
So if you ever get a chance, you should watch it.
I might.
For the artistic value and just to learn something from the historic value.
Okay.
It's into its 4th season and it gets better with each year.
Oh, okay.
Each season.
Wow.
So it's going to be 7 seasons total.
Huh.
And what I'm doing at the rehab is we're watching an episode and then I'm teaching on it.
Okay.
Watching an episode because the guys would rather watch an episode than hear me teach. Because it's that good.
You could send out one of the letters, one like that says you got to watch me or else I'm going to show all your dirty stuff to people. Oh man!
Yeah, if you get a chance, you and Christine should watch it. It's worth a watch. It is.
Well, the thing is,
most Christian films are cheesy.
Yeah.
And not well done.
Yes, I've seen a couple
They're
of
not
them.
worth the effort.
I didn't watch.
The Chosen and The Passion are 2 that are worth the effort.
Well, the Passion of the Christ, when it came out, I remember it was controversial, and a lot of people rebelled against it because of whatever. I don't even know why. But that's one I didn't ever watch, and I probably could watch that and understand a little better.
Well, if you watch horror, it isn't going to throw you. But if you're not a partaker of horror or realistic films, like what was the war movie that was so realistic?
The Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes, that was one.
That was hard.
It was not Platoon. It was
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket's one. It's very realistic. If you can handle those things, then you can handle The Passion of the Christ.
Okay. Okay. And it sticks with Christianity?
It sticks with Scripture.
Okay.
It's very realistic. It's very close to Scripture. Yes.
Okay. Well.
So, see, if you watch The Chosen and you're not a Bible reader,
Right.
okay, and you watch The Chosen, you get a realistic impression of who Jesus was and what he said and what he did. Now, you don't have to believe in him to watch it.
Right.
But you really get an idea of that this was a real character and this was a real person and he's really said these things. And it makes sense. And you can see why he said what he said.
Okay.
And so it's like I said before, some of the things that I've watched over the years are cheesy and I wouldn't recommend them. Like they had one Christ movie I remember. I can't think of the title at the moment, but Jesus never smiled. And in The Chosen, he cracks jokes. You know.
And yet, now you said The Chosen is good as well?
Yes, The Chosen and The Passion. Those two are worth watching.
And is The Chosen a series?
Yes, it's a series.
Okay.
There's about 8 episodes to a season, and we're in season 4, and it's on Prime.
Okay.
You can get season 4 separate from season 1, 2, and 3.
Huh.
So you search for season 1, 2, and 3, and start at 1 and just go.
Okay.
It's worth you and Christine to sit and watch it. I'm just really trying to encourage you because it's artistically well done.
Okay.
And as an actor, you can appreciate some of the acting, which
Okay.
I think as a novice is well done. I would be very interested in your take of the acting.
All right. I'll have to look into that because, I really appreciate a good movie when it's done right. When I can watch just about any kind of movie if it's done nice, if it's done right, if it's true to what it's supposed to be. One movie that I watched, it wasn't the best acting in the world, but it's a really good movie, was the one movie that I was in, and it wasn't because of me. I really liked the movie Youngest Partisan. The acting was not really up to par in my eyes, but the movie was really good. If you just throw that acting thing away, they were not the greatest actors, and I think they were just friends of the guy that did the movie. Now, if he heard me say that, he would probably never hire me again. But I thought it was really well done production-wise. So the shots and everything were good. I just felt the acting was subpar. But a lot of people don't believe in taking acting lessons. Some people think they're naturals, and they're not. There's no such thing as a natural actor. There are some people that
Is it a craft that you have to work
Oh,
on?
yeah, yeah.
Can I tell you that preaching is the same thing?
Yeah.
It's a craft.
I believe
It's
that.
a craft you have to work on.
Because if you go in there and the guy is not good at his craft, if I go to a church and the guy is not good at his craft, I don't want to sit
You're
there.
not going to pay attention to
Yeah.
what he says.
You've got to be you got to know how to present something, how to make it interesting, how to make you interesting. And I know you can do that because that's the first thing that I was drawn to about being your friend, about wanting to be your friend, is because I saw that you knew how to debate, you knew how to talk, you knew how to not necessarily, like when you present an argument, you don't say, "You stupid idiot, you should be listening." You're actually presenting facts, and you're actually presenting your side, and you're not degrading someone. You're just presenting your side. And
See, I wouldn't be good on cable news.
no,
Because
No.
I wouldn't scream at the other person.
right, and yeah, you wouldn't be a very good Republican, I guess.
No, not at all.
But the thing is, I believe that. See, to me, this is no cut on you, but to me, it's no different than anything I do. It's you're presenting your role, and you're a storyteller. You're telling the story.
You're telling a story.
And the story has to be convincing for people to listen to it. If you're telling something that's boring and putting them to sleep, they're not gonna, you're always gonna have people that are in that mold. My mom made me go here, or my girlfriend made me come here, or whatever it is. You're always gonna have those people. But the people that are there for the right reasons, you tell the story to them. They're the people that are your audience, and if you pick up a few other people along the way, great, hallelujah, and I've actually applied for some roles where I've applied for a couple roles where I was a pastor or in the religious sector. I haven't gotten any of those yet. The other side I've gotten,
because they know you're a heathen.
It could be.
There are people that are playing in The Chosen that aren't Christian.
Okay.
There's a couple Muslims in here.
Interesting.
Actors.
Yeah. And if you take a look at today's...
but they're good actors.
If you take a look at today's roles, The Pit is a good one. There's a new show called The Pit. It's on Max. If you remember ER, Noah Wiley, who was an intern on ER, is now the head guy at The Pit. And it's funny watching him in that, and it's funny how the roles have changed. They're being sued because Noah Wiley is one of the producers, and he was in ER, and Michael Crichton's family is suing the production because they said it's ER without paying Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton died a couple of years ago, but his family would get a piece of the pie if they were ER Part 2 or whatever. But because he's not, they're upset because it's basically the same show with new actors. The only one that isn't the new actor is Noah Wiley. And so they're suing him. But in that show, it's interesting because they have some Muslim people as nurses. And you would not have seen that in ER, because back in that time frame, that was the early 90s, that was in 2000. That was actually in 2000. I don't think you would have seen you wouldn't see that minority in our, especially since 9/11 had happened right before that. You're not going to see that in that time frame. But you're going to see that people have changed a lot, and they're not overlooking that group of people. So I kind of think it's really cool that's Hollywood's opening their minds to things they wouldn't have opened them before. So yeah,
So you want to know a little inside baseball? Jesus in The Chosen is Catholic, and some Christian fundamentals won't watch it because he's Catholic.
Would he have been Catholic?
Well, he's of the Catholic faith today.
Okay.
There was no division. When Jesus was on earth, there was no division. It was Jew or Gentile or Jew and Christian.
Oh,
there was
okay.
no Catholic or Protestant or Baptist or Methodist. There was nothing like that 2,000 years ago in Palestine. There was nothing like that. Hey, the other thing about The Chosen is it's a very realistic representation of what life was like 2,000 years ago in Israel.
Oh, okay.
Just that alone, putting you in that time frame, is worth a watch.
I talked a lot about this last year. This one show, Oak Island. They were talking about the Ark of the Covenant and all that stuff being in this. They're finding things on that island that date pre-AD. So you're seeing things that are back in before BC.
Before Christ.
Yeah,
Before
they're
Christ.
dating some of this stuff in that time frame, and I'm captivated by them guys because they haven't found any of this big stuff yet, but they keep finding clues to this stuff. And apparently there were a lot of different people on that island, including French people, including pirates, and just all kinds of people visiting that island. I guess if they ever find the stuff, that's the end of the show. But because they're going to be really wealthy. But it's just, I really find that.
If they find the Ark of the Covenant, they are going to.
And nobody's found it, right? That's still out there.
Nobody's found it. That's still out.
I mean, it could be. It's entirely possible.
We think God has it sealed away somewhere.
Well, it's sealed away maybe in that 8 by whatever it is place that is in this. Because this is weird, because they have these tunnels that are really sophisticatedly booby-trapped. Like, you could go down the hole that this is supposed to be in, and if you trip whatever it is that trips it, water comes in there, and people have drowned in that tunnel. And to think that they were that up on that kind of technology in that time frame, it blows me away. It'd be interesting to see if they ever do find anything of substance. They found all these cool artifacts, but really nothing that confirms or denies things either way. So I've been watching that stuff and just amazed by. I mean, I've caught up, and I'm current day now, so I was 14 seasons behind, and now I'm caught up. And I kept thinking, well, they couldn't have found it because they wouldn't still be making this stuff.
They would still be making.
So, but it's just really interesting to see how, in this day and age, with our technology, they are tracking it down, and they've done some pretty weird experiments to get to where they are now. So who knows? They may find that stuff. But I'd love to see if they find the Ark of the Covenant, because that, to me, that is the most interesting out of everything, because they found big planks from pirate ships, or from ships, I should say. They found all this stuff that just is really wild, and it's funny how they can time stamp this stuff to be able to tell you that this is 500 AD, or 100 BC, whatever. Hey, so there's a question I have. So when you're okay, so we have this timeline, and we have the AD timeline and the BC timeline. Well, how would they know that they were BC? Are they backdating it? How are they figuring out?
They're backdating it.
I mean, because when you were a year before Christ was born, did they have a date? Was it?
Yes.
What would have been the date 1 year? I mean,
the Romans had dates. We're not using the Roman calendar.
Okay.
The Roman calendar did not differentiate between Christ's birth and Christ's death.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to know, because I just always wondered where that came from.
This is a Georgian calendar.
Okay.
It went back and it arbitrarily picked Christ's birth and Christ's death. So it's after death, before Christ.
Okay.
And so Christ was born in 4 AD.
Okay. All right.
So,
Interesting.
That's the best guess we have, was 4 AD.
Okay.
And he died in 33 BC.
Wow.
Or 30 BC. So, that's the best guess we have.
Okay.
There's no date written down in the Bible.
Yeah.
All we know is he was 30 years old when he started his ministry and 33 when he was killed.
Wow.
That's all we know from Scripture.
Wow. That's horrible. Man, oh day. I was wondered about that because I couldn't figure out where they decided 0 was.
Different calendars.
Okay.
So we have the Georgian calendar, which was a modern day concept.
Okay.
It's looking back.
All right. Well, now I've learned something new, and it's actually one that's been bothering me for a while. So, and it was Keith Shockley is who I was trying to think of the name a little while ago that I was talking about one of my friends that is in the business, in the music business. Anyway, all right. Now we've had our lesson for the week.
Yes.
We actually had a nice lesson there. See, again, teaching, storytelling. You know your stuff. And
very rarely do I preach. I teach.
yeah, that's better anyway. All right. Where was I? Here's some of the people who have lost their homes in LA fires. Mandy Moore. I don't know who she is. Oh, I think I know who she is. Anna Faris, Milo Ventimiglia, Paris Hilton, Jeff Bridges. Oh, it's a shame. I like Jeff Bridges. Bozoma St. John, Mel Gibson, Billy Crystal, Diane Warren were among the celebrities whose houses were destroyed. Man.
You know, I feel sorry for them as I feel for the little person in a middle class house.
Yeah.
Because even though they may have the resources to rebuild, where the person in a little house maybe not.
Right.
They still lost everything.
Yeah. Here's another one,
All
Jane.
their personal stuff. Patty and I were thinking about this, and we're going to have a go bag.
Oh yeah.
Of our important papers.
Yes. Yeah,
so
some of that
just
stuff.
Grab it and run out the door. And I have a thumb drive with everything that is important to me on the thumb drive. I'll just pull the thumb drive and run out the door.
Yeah.
All my taxes are on the thumb drive. Everything that you would need. Of course, you can replace your taxes. You just call the IRS and they'll send you
Yeah.
your stuff. But you know what I mean. Stuff that's important to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things I never want to have to think about. I mean, I've lost a lot of things in my life, but nothing to the size of what we're talking about there. That we're talking about their memory. I mean, I've lost memories too. I mean, but not to the point that we're talking about with this. I mean, to think about losing, you can replace cars, you can replace things, but you can't replace memories. You can't replace pictures and stuff like that. And I just, man. It says that the other people that have lost their homes were, let's see, which ones are, okay, Ricky Lake, James Woods. James Woods thought he lost his house, but he later discovered it was still standing, and a miracle happened. Man, how would that would be really cool if you, like when you think you lost your house, and then to wake up and say, hey, your house is still there. That's going to be a big... Eugene Levy, John Goodman, Anthony Hopkins, they all lost their houses. Oh man. I can't even imagine how much money we're talking about here, because there's got to be billions of dollars in this.
Well, the last estimate was $250 billion.
I believe that.
And it's going to go higher because these winds that are coming tonight, it's going to spread that fire. Wow. Because, let's see, as of yesterday, the Palisades fire was only 11% contained, and the Eaton fire is 27% contained.
Jeez. I've got a friend who lives in Beverly Hills, and at last check, he still had his house. I was hoping to go visit him, too, because he is known as the pitchman of Hollywood. And who would be better to pitch my script than the pitchman of Hollywood?
Yes.
So it just, my plans were all changed because of this thing. And, I mean, my plans at least didn't cost anything. That's just sad. I mean, I can't think too much about... Oh, okay, that's why I wanted to speak of... So Chuck D tells people to stop using Public Enemy's Burn Hollywood Burn song. Chuck D is one of the people that were the originators of Public Enemy, and actually Keith Shockley was with them as well. So it's interesting to hear him say he doesn't want them to use the Burn Hollywood Burn song. And I guess
there are people that are rejoicing that it was Hollywood.
I believe that, and I think there are a lot of people.
Or they think it's God's judgment.
Right, yeah.
A lot of Christians are saying it's God's judgment on Hollywood, and it's taking a lot of people that aren't Hollywood.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. That would be like.
I mean, the studios aren't burning down. You would think if it was God's judgment on Hollywood, the studios would be burning down.
Yeah.
So, I know people that toy with that idea. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. I just can't imagine being one of those guys that said, let's set another fire. I mean, this isn't burning enough. The right people aren't being destroyed, so let's burn them a little more. So let's.
Well, arsonists don't do it for that reason. Arsonists do it because they love fire.
I see that. Yeah. It's just a shame. I mean, I can't imagine. See, I'm not a kind of guy that would harm anybody for any reason. If someone irritates me or makes me mad, I just walk away from them because I don't want a confrontation. But there's a lot of people that feel it's not right that they have everything and I got nothing. So I want to destroy their everything because I have nothing. People with that attitude are dangerous people. Anthony Hopkins' house has burned down. Paris Hilton launches a wildfire emergency fund. Isn't she one of the people that lost her house too?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought that's cool that she's actually helping.
She's one that I think can rebuild.
Yes.
She's trying to help other people.
That's cool. I like that someone is, even though she lost everything or lost a lot, she's willing to step out and try to help others during that period of time. Guillermo del Toro says Bleak House spared by fires. I don't know what the Bleak House is, but I guess I should know what that is. But the studio where Nicki Minaj Dojo Cat recorded albums burned down. Jeez. What a horrible thing.
I bet you there's a lot of people that work in the industry that have lost their homes.
Yes.
That are middle class or upper, not middle class, that work in the industry.
Right.
I mean, I imagine TV production has stopped.
They're actually, strangely enough, the studios are not affected at this point, and they're going to start.
But they may be losing people.
Yeah, I heard they're going to start production of some stuff in next month.
Okay.
I don't know that to be true. I mean, that's something I read in. I may even have an article here about it because I've been trying to follow this stuff and keep an eye on what's going on, and you just aren't going to know how bad it is for probably a couple days yet, or maybe even a month yet. It's crazy. Now I'll talk about what everyone wants to know, including you. Let's talk about the death pool.
Okay.
We got to talk about the death pool because, it is the death pool. And we did have a clear-cut winner. We did have 2 deaths altogether, none of which were yours, and one of which was mine. So, okay, so we'll close this. Hopefully, close this. Hopefully, and then close this one. All right, and now let's find out who the clear-cut winner was. Now I got to see if I put the file on its own picture. Nope. Okay, so it will take me a second here because I got to go to. Got to go to here. Go to my files. Or is it home? Yeah, here we go. Okay. Here we go. Movies. That's the spreadsheet. Okay. So the loser, I should say third place,
It's me.
is you. Third place is you, and also is Christine with 0. Ashley came in second place. She picked Jimmy Carter, who happened to be 100. So she got 10 points. I picked O.J. Simpson. I got 34 points for O.J. Simpson. So the clear winner was me.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the board who voted me in. So we can pick them for next week for the new ones. Do you want?
Yeah.
We will pick
You should
new.
send me a copy.
I can send you a copy.
Because I didn't know who I had on my list.
Okay. I will send you a copy. And now, question is that, okay, you following the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Who's left in the Super Bowl?
Well, there's Buffalo. There's the Ravens. There's the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. There's the Eagles, my team. There's the Los Angeles Rams. There is the Detroit and Detroit Lions. And who are they playing? They're playing the Washington Commanders. I'm missing one team.
Okay. Okay, we can play a game when we get down to
4 teams.
4 teams, and then we'll, when we figure out who's in the finals, we'll play another game there. I do have a game that I have designed that turns a simple, like if you have a clear-cut winner, we're not going to both pick the same team. So what we'll do is we will do it by quarters, and it doesn't matter who your team that you pick is. You say what you think the will be, what the number will be at that quarter, and that's how we divvy up the points. So you could be voting against your team by winning the other team's point value. I'll explain it closer when we get closer to it. But it worked out last year. That was the first time I used it. I lost horribly last year. So
Yeah, well, you're not a sports guy.
yeah, but it was my system was so good. It made sure that the person that chose the team that won, because if you chose the Lions and I chose the Eagles, or vice versa, if that happened, well, that's a simple thing. But if you chose the Eagles and the Eagles lost, you could still win this by the point system.
Because you got the quarters right.
Because you got the quarters right. And so I'll explain it to you a little more as we get closer to the thing. But it's really fair. It's a nice fair thing, because not only do you got to choose the winner, but you got to choose the point spread, or not the point spread, but the points between each quarter. And so it actually becomes fun for a non-sports person like me. It becomes enjoyable because I don't know anything about what anybody's done with anything other than the winner was Kelsey or with Travis, or whichever one got that got Taylor Swift. That's the one. That's the only guy that really won. Yeah,
Travis.
That's the guy. He's the real winner. And I don't know how many points he had when he got her, but. But this is kind of a fun little thing that I developed last year, and I can make it better than last year. But it was pretty good last year. I lost to, not only did I lose to Ashley, but I lost to her daughter. That's how bad it was for me. I got trumped by both of those. But I found it very interesting, and I'll just dial it in a little bit more, and it'll make it so that I'll offer it up to the people that are that listen to the show too, if they want to play, and I'll probably lose again, but it was a lot more fun because it was not just one person winning because of one number. They had to win the segments, and it made it interesting, like the death pool. Like, for instance, if this were a regular death pool, she and I both got one, but one of them, if you choose a bunch of guys that are 100, you're going to be better, have a better chance of winning. But if
I picked Kate Middleton.
Yes, and that would have been a slam dunk if she won. I mean, geez, I wouldn't have.
But she's in remission now, so I won't pick her next year.
Right, and I've got a couple people I would probably pick that aren't on this now. There's a couple people because throughout the year I thought, I'll pick them next year. I keep notes of people when I hear about things, and at any point you can change it just by making that announcement that you want to change somebody, but the other people have a chance to choose first, so they can steal your guy. So, but anyway, that's where we are on that as of now. So, we can move on to the next thing. What are we down to? 8 of them now? There's 8 teams?
There's 8 teams.
So after this weekend, there will be 4?
4.
Okay. So it's good I'm announcing it now, so I can be ready for it. But that makes it just kind of fun. And I actually watched last year, which was the first game I've watched for years and years, just because it was fun. It made it interesting to me to not have to.
That's why betting is so
yes,
big.
Yes, and that's where I got the idea.
It's drawn in casual viewers because they got money on the line.
That's right. And that's where I came up with the idea, is because I heard, if the referee throws a flag or whatever, I do follow it enough to make a somewhat educated guess. So, all right. Now, why did that shut down? Okay, there it is. We're back. Okay. But anyway, all right. So that's that. All right. Let's see. Jumped around a little bit here, so I got to see. Okay, I got a lot of stuff, and I just got to figure out where we want to go from there. Is there anything else I wanted to? Oh, there was kind of interest. This I found interesting. This happened before the end of last year, but I thought it was worth talking about. They've got unreleased Michael Jackson records, or tapes, recordings. Unreleased Michael Jackson tapes discovered in abandoned storage unit. How one Ventura County stay-at-home dad came into possession of material recorded between 1989 and 1991 of the King of Pop. What kind of weird, that'd be really kind of cool to have a recording of stuff that nobody else has, and
he'd be a rich man.
He might end up being that. It says when former California Highway Patrol officer turned stay-at-home dad started treasure hunting, the 56-year-old certainly never imagined he'd end up with a king's bounty, the King of Pop, that is. A trove of...
Did he buy a storage unit?
Yes, I think, yeah, it says a trove of cassette and DAT tapes containing unreleased Michael Jackson tracks were found in a storage unit deep in the San Fernando Valley. Musgrove's journey to the tapes began when an associate contacted him about the storage unit he had bought recently in Van Nuys. The unit belonged to Brian Laurer, a music producer and singer whose current whereabouts are unknown, according to Musgrove. On the tapes are 12 unreleased tracks, music Jackson that worked on to the Dangerous album around 1989-1991. I've gone to call to all the fan sites. Some of the songs are rumored to exist. Some of them have leaked a little, and a couple aren't even out there in the world. Musgrove's full inventory list below shows the collected tracks along with snippets of other unreleased songs Jackson and presumably Lauren can be heard discussing the recording and creative process of the tapes. I'm listening to this stuff and I would get goosebumps because nobody's ever heard this stuff before. To hear Michael Jackson actually talk and kind of joke back and forth was really cool. And there's a song list, set list. Just was really kind of cool. It's a little blurry, but it's kind of cool. And anything Michael Jackson, you're gonna you'll make money off of. And the released tracks there's one called "Don't Believe It," which seems to reference rumors and that would circulate about the pop star in the media. The vibe and style of the song is consistent with the kind of music Jackson was releasing at the time. On another tape, Jackson can be heard explaining the intended meaning of the song 7 Digits, which refers to the identification number bodies receive in the morgue. Perhaps one of the most fascinating tracks on the tapes is entitled Truth on Youth, which is seemingly a rap duet between Jackson and LL Cool J. The rapper has spoken in the past about working with Jackson, confirming they had recorded music together. The song stands out for many reasons, but largely due to Jackson rapping on it. So that is really cool. Look at that. That's probably $1 billion right there.
That guy's can hire someone to educate his kid.
Yes. It looks like Christine says, woohoo, the Ravens. Are the Ravens in the playoffs?
Yes.
Oh, well.
The best game coming up this weekend is the Ravens against Buffalo.
Okay. All right.
We're really looking at who's going to win the Super Bowl in that game, I think.
Okay.
Because
wow.
It's really the two best teams in football right now going against each other. And we're down to 8. So that's the game of the week. Maybe the game of the season.
And your team is the Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are
we're
they?
We're going to win, I think. This week we're going to win. But then we face Detroit probably, and that probably isn't going to go well. So. But her team, the Ravens, I'm rooting for them against Buffalo.
What were they? They were the Colts before, right?
Yes, Colts moved to Indianapolis.
Okay.
Jim Irsay moved them out in the middle of the night. Stolen from Baltimore.
Loaded up the trucks and rolled out in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night. Yep.
Took their field and went home.
So. They took their field and went home.
Anyway, so it says it says here, unfortunately, the diehard Jackson fans, it's likely Musgrove will be one of the few people ever to hear these tapes. He and the attorney he brought on to approach the Jackson estate with their findings earlier this year. The estate, who Musgrove's says did their own research into the tapes, declined to purchase the tapes for an unknown reason, but did provide him with an official letter stating that the estate does not claim ownership on these specific cassettes. They make it clear in the letter, however, that if he or anyone else who might purchase these tapes down the line do not own the copyright on these recordings or the compositions, the estate does. Essentially, the tapes can never be released publicly. That would suck.
That sucks.
In response, the estate
someone's going to fight that so that they can release them.
Yeah, well, I mean, somebody's got to own the stuff, and why not him? If he bought, I mean, he could sell the tapes individually as tapes, but he cannot claim that he owns the stuff. Basically, in response, the estate clarifies that
why is that, Michael? Because it's intellectual property.
Well, it's like if you bought my CD and I became famous, you still own the CD. You can't sell it as owning the actual property on the CD, but you own that actual CD. You can sell that CD. You just can't mass produce the CD because it's copywritten.
It's copyrighted. So
if you bought a Journey CD and I said, well, I'd like that Journey CD. Well, I hate that CD. Well, I'll give you $10 for it. No one's going to sue you for selling that one CD. But if it was a Michael Jackson and you got one of them, you can say, I'll sell you this one for $1 million, and if the guy wants it, he'll pay $1 million for it. But that you're only selling him that one CD. You're not selling him 1,000 CDs.
Yeah, you're not duplicating the cassette.
So it's got to be a collector.
It over and over again.
Yeah, it's got to be a collector. It's got to be somebody that, like I watched a show on Netflix about collectors. These basically are guys that go out and buy sports memorabilia, but sometimes they buy other things too. Some people, for that bat that Babe Ruth used, they might sell that bat for $1 million. They can't duplicate that bat. They can't sell more than one bat, but they can sell that one bat that they have in their possession because it's a piece of property. But they can't duplicate it and sell it.
Or if they do, they're charged with fraud.
That's correct too. Well, but if on the music thing, you have to worry about copyrights and that kind of thing. But if you have one recording that was verified that it is that recording, you could sell that recording for anything you can get for it. But you can't say, I own the rights to that. I own this CD, this one CD, and you can sell that for whatever you can get for it.
Well, I'm sure there'll be people that'll pay something for those cassettes.
Yeah, I mean, some of the prices for sports memorabilia is outrageous. $2 million, $10 million for a bat or whatever it is, for something like this, it's a Michael Jackson thing that there aren't a lot of. You could probably get a piece of it worth something. I'm sure that there's somebody out there that's going to buy just to have. I mean, people do that with Prince's stuff too. Prince had all kinds of memorabilia and guitars and stuff like that people wanted. In fact, when I went to Vegas last time, they had a purple room, and it had a statue of Prince in their living room. It was just kind of weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, but the thing is, the guy was, if you're a music buff and you actually understand the importance of his music and you have the money, why not? I wouldn't pay that kind of money for it, but I don't think I'd pay that kind of money for anybody's recordings or stuff. But it'd be cool to have, but I can't imagine that the amount of money that they could get for that is probably life-changing. But especially when he bought it at a storage unit. And and they used tapes. That proves it was probably him. It was tapes, and it was in the 90s, so they didn't. I mean, we did have CDs. We had CDs, but he had DAT tapes too. We had DAT. I have a DAT player upstairs, and I have a bunch of DATs that have our recording of our album and stuff. I bought, all the supplies for that stuff, and I have that all here. It's not worth anything to anybody but me, but maybe if I made it big and all that, and then died,
people would want to listen to all your versions of you.
Sure, I've got a closet full of recordings. Ken and I bought these tapes that were 6 minutes each, and the reason I did that is I could put one song on each tape, and then when we change it, we just change that tape. But we never got around to doing more than recording everything. I've got everything, but we never had a chance to actually put out a second CD.
Well, I've got about 5 years worth of sermons.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the thing is, when you're talking about sermons and stuff, you actually wrote the sermon, I would imagine.
Yes.
And it would be difficult to duplicate it the way you did it because you were one person. But if you had recordings of those sermons, someone may be interested in it because they love your style, or you may have done something special on that thing. I mean, those kind of things are collectible to people that, have a passion for whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever, if you're into music, into sports, whatever it is, they have that passion and they want to preserve it and they may never touch it again, or they may listen to it on a regular basis. It's hard to say. This would be interesting just to hear the music style that guy got on these recordings. I would love to hear, if you're hearing Michael Jackson joking around back and forth, I would love to know what his sense of humor was. You know, who knows?
You get to know him as a person.
Yeah, it's a whole different. You could write a book about this tape collection that you got, and you could describe what's on that tape collection, and people that are never going to hear that tape might actually find that interesting. So they could make money off of this, depending what they wanted to do with it. So
I have a question for you. This is off topic. Just a question. Well, not off topic. It's if I'm writing a book and I have a song lyric that I want to put in the book, do I hear royalties for that song?
No, you would have to.
I credit it.
Yes, as long as you credit it, you're okay. And as long as you say, this isn't mine, this is from the book or the song or the whatever.
Okay, so it's just like quoting somebody else in a book.
Yes, as long as you give them credit.
Okay.
Yes. So as long as that's not what the book is about. I mean, if the book is totally about that, it would probably be a little hairy.
I like to, I quote scripture, but I also like to quote Christian music too.
Okay.
So I use both scripture and Christian rock.
Okay.
Did you know Bob Dylan went through a Christian phase?
Bob Dylan what?
Bob Dylan went through a Christian phase. He has 3 albums, Christian albums.
Oh, well,
I quote him a lot.
I can't say that I'm surprised about him doing that, because he seemed to be multifaceted in his, and plus he was in that age of the 60s and when things were, everybody was searching for themselves. I could see that. I could see that.
He has since gone back to Judaism.
Oh.
But he had a Christian phase, yes.
Yeah.
Very good theology, too. Very good theology. The man studied. He knew what he was talking about.
Huh.
So
he's got to be up there.
Some good music.
He's got to be up there.
Very quotable. I quote him a
lot. Interesting. I never would have thought of him as in being that.
Well, he's a great poet, and so when he was in his Christian phase, he did a lot of the good lyrics that are very quotable. So I wanted to know if I ever did publish this book I'm writing, if I owed royalties to him because I quoted him.
I think if you're only quoting part of the song,
I'm only quoting part of the song.
I think you're okay. However, you'll find this interesting. My pilot includes one of my songs, Start Not the End, from my first album, my only album. Actually, we have 3 albums, but my only real full album. Because that's what the whole story is about, is the start, not the end. It's, the guy lost everything and he's starting over. Well, it just so happens the 3 girls lost everything too. And they're all starting over. So I thought it was a perfect song for that show. So in the beginning, you hear me singing. You hear it from the album as it has the opening credits. And then it fades out and fades back into that song, but only a chorus. So I'm talking over the chorus. When I uploaded it to YouTube, I got this strike because it's copywritten. Well, yeah, of course it's copyrighted.
But it's your copyright.
That's what I said. I said, this happens to me every time I do anything with the Uncle Sam Band. Like every time I did a music video, I had to tell them why I did the music video. And they'd send me back saying, this is copyrighted by the record company, which was, I forget the name of the company. That's why they haven't given me royalties for a long time, because we haven't sold any albums for a while, I guess. But for a while, I was getting money every quarter. But anyway, so every time I have to write, this is me, this is my real name, that I am the owner of this stuff, and there should be no copyright. And every time they approve me. Well, I put an update on the YouTube and took down the old ones, and I got another copyright strike. So I got to do it all over again. So, it just sucks that you have to justify your own music. So, so since you were talking about copyrights, I thought I'd tell you a little story about copyrights. It's a pain, especially when the person, yes, especially when you go by another name in real life. So, yeah, that's one of the dangers of not using your name. But my name is on the as one of the actors, and then my real name is in there as the writer and director.
So that gets two separate people.
Yeah, I don't want them to necessarily think that that I'm the same person, because being in this stage of the acting, I don't want people to think, well, I got the acting because I wrote it, and that is the reason. But I don't want them to think that I'm not a good actor and I just did it. Anyway.
You cast yourself instead of casting talent.
Exactly. I figured nobody could play me better than me. So, oh, here we go. The thing I talked about with Noah Wiley is actually one of my articles I did take. He's trying to find a balance between the pit, and it says Max reunites Wiley with ER duo John Wells and R. Scott Giment, which was what I talked about a while ago, is that they're getting sued. So, just funny, I didn't realize I had that in here, because I wrote some of this stuff in the end of December, so I didn't know that I did that. I didn't remember if I did it. It says Mike Judge takes on Big Pharma in the Common Side Effects trailer. Mike Judge is the guy that did Beavis and Butthead, I think it is. Yeah. Mike Judge takes on Big Pharma in Common Side trailer, Common Side Effects trailer. So, Adult Swim's animated comedy thriller from Judge, Joe Bennett, and Steve Heffley, or Helly, tackles the pharmaceutical industry. I'll tell you what, I'd help him with that, because I still am very angry at the pharmaceutical situation.
Yeah, well, so is everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, my meds went from $1.50 to $7.50 just this year. So that means they really kind of, what is it? Instead of double, it's quinta-sized my, it was nice. It's not that big of a money, but every time I went to CVS, they charged me a different price. And I questioned them again, and they said, well, this is the right price because your insurance is this and that. And I said, well, my insurance didn't change. Why did my script go from $150 to $750? I said, that's what it is. It says it right here. I said, well, how come every time I went to you guys, since I left Rite Aid, it's been a different price? One time it was $150, one time it was $250, one time it was, $450, and now it's $750. So, yeah, pharmaceuticals. I do not like their companies. Plus, I still say they killed Pam. So,
they got her addicted. They killed her.
Well, they did kill her because the reason she was even in that situation was when she went in for a hysterectomy, they filled her full of this Energel, which burned her insides. And they gave it to her twice. So, yeah, she lived her last couple years, or her last 12 years in pain, unheard of pain. And then they denied there was anything wrong with it. And then all these articles came out that said that Energel did this kind of stuff. And when we sued them, they had these big league lawyers, and there was nothing we could get out of them. I mean, we got really a minor amount of money for what she had died from. So it kind of sucks. Billboard Awards, it says here, Taylor Swift topped the 2024 Billboard Awards, scooping up 10 awards, the most of the night, after going into the night with 17 nominations. And it says here, Zach Bryan, who led the nominations with 21 nods, won 5 awards. Performers included Coldplay, Linkin Park, Fueza Wagida, I don't know, Jelly Roll, Megan Moroney, 17, Shabuzi, Stray Kids, and Teddy Swims, wherever they are. I don't even know any of the. I know who some of those people are, but very few.
Mike, I heard that somebody, some magazine, did the Pop Artist of the Century.
Okay.
I think it was, who was it? It was, the century's only 25 years old. I don't understand how they could do the Pop Artist of the Century. But who was it? It was Beyonce. And
well, she's made second highest touring money.
Yeah, but they named her of the century. My point was, century's only 25 years old.
Yeah.
That's something that should be done in the last 5 years of the century.
This is true. By the way, I got a question to ask you. This is a good question. Not that the other ones are bad. So we have millennials. We have our generation. Are we in the same generation?
Boomers.
Yeah. Are we? You're one of them too, right?
I'm a boomer.
Okay. So we have all those generations. What is the current generation?
Alpha?
No. Beta.
What is it?
Beta.
Beta.
That's the new kids. That's after the millennials. And that'll be any kid up until the year 2035, I think it is.
Betas.
They're betas. I don't know why they didn't have an alpha yet. But I saw that was the new generation. So we'll hear jokes on betas now.
Betas are lazy. Betas don't want to work. Betas this, betas that.
Yeah, the same thing. They'll use the same ones for the millennials. The millennials will say this is about the betas. So, all right. Let's see. That one we can throw away because that's. I guess we're getting down to the. I guess I can jump out of the entertainment. The rest of the stuff is.
Well, you want to do mine?
Oh yeah. Let's do yours.
Okay, what are the 5 key moments of the history of rock and roll? This is from history.com.
The key moments.
Now, no one's in agreement with this. This is not a set in stone. Every rock and roll historian agrees. But what do you think are the main moments?
Elvis.
Big moments in rock and roll.
Elvis is one.
On the Ed Sullivan Show?
Yeah.
56?
Yeah, I would say Elvis. I would say.
He did, let's see, he did Don't Be Cruel.
Yep.
Hound Dog.
Okay.
And Love Me Tender. And they showed full shots of him. It was the last time on TV that they ever showed full shots of him.
Okay.
They did it from the chest up after that.
Interesting.
Do you know why?
Well, yeah, because you weren't allowed to gyrate your.
Gyrate. That's right.
Yes, I remember that being when I was a kid. I remember that that was one of the things that intrigued me as a kid that they cared about that. I couldn't imagine that being. I mean, today it's you're not doing anything that tame. The next one I would say is the Beatles at that giant concert they did. That was the last one that they did as a team because they started being weirded out by people that had been killed and shot and stuff.
Okay, well, they say it was the Beatles, but it was when they produced the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, because McCartney played it for Dylan, and Dylan said, "Oh, I get it. You don't want to be cute anymore." They wanted to be serious.
Really?
Because it was they say that it was rock and roll's first serious album of pure genius, bursting with creativity and musical innovation. featuring French horns, tape loops,
Yeah.
brass harmonics, harpsichords, satars, and more.
Okay.
It changed not only rock music but pop culture itself.
Okay.
So that was one.
I could see that. Yeah. That
What
isn't.
else?
I wouldn't have thought that would have been, but that okay.
Well, you can argue. I mean, this isn't set in stone.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I could understand why they picked that. I would have probably said more the like I said, the concert that they played, that their last concert, because that was the reason that. Oh, you know what it was? It was when they had made that announcement that they were bigger than Jesus.
Yes.
Or bigger than God, or something, whatever it was. That's when they decide. That's when. Not McCartney, the other one, freaking Lennon. That's when Lennon decided he didn't want to go on tour anymore because they got so many death threats. And I figured that would be one of the turning points. And ironically, that's how he died.
Yes. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah.
And actually, I saw a concert or a history on Elton John that was really, really good. And it talked about Elton, like Lennon wouldn't even go on stage after that. And he wanted to make music, but he didn't want to go on stage because he was afraid of being killed. And Elton actually got him on stage for the first time in a long time. And it was just kind of funny to see that. But, okay, how many did you say? 5 of them?
5. You got 2.
I got 2.
You got 3 more.
Ooh. Are there any before Elvis and that?
No, none before Elvis.
Okay, all right. I just want to clear the bench then. Okay. Where would we? Well, we talking about moments in music that changed it, or are we talking about
moments in music that changed everything?
I'm going to say Leonard Skinner.
No.
No.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I would say.
That's me, because I'm a Skinner.
I would say because it changed. This band was probably probably would have been a super band had they lived, but they continue to go out and play as of today, even though none of them are original members anymore.
No, but they still play, and they still put out good music.
Is Pink Floyd any of those?
No.
Really?
I'll give you one. Dylan Goes Electric.
Okay.
Bob Dylan walked on stage in '65 in the Newport Folk Festival with an electric guitar. They booed him off stage. He had
Really?
a Stratocaster.
Wow.
They booed him off stage. But it was when Dylan went electric. It changed everything.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that at all.
2 more.
Now, is anything above 2000?
No.
Okay.
The latest was 81.
81. And we got 2.
One was in 69.
69. Oh, Jimi Hendrix.
Well, go a little bit deeper. Where did Hendrix play?
I was thinking the concert that he set his guitar on fire.
Woodstock.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah.
Woodstock.
And
changed everything.
Yes.
Because the Summer of Love, that's when rock music took off.
Okay. And then we have...
One more.
And it was 81, right?
81.
Nirvana.
Nope.
Huh.
It was a thing. It was a thing, not a group.
What was in 81? I don't know.
It changed the way we listened to music. We didn't listen anymore. We watched.
Oh, MTV.
MTV.
Yeah, that's true.
Back when MTV actually showed music videos.
Yeah, before it became a game show network and all the weird things that they play on there now.
Yep. MTV. You did pretty good, Mike. You got 3 out of the 5 pretty well. I'm proud of you.
What's that?
I'm proud of you. You got 3 out of the 5.
Yeah, I didn't even think. I was thinking bands rather than the events. But yeah, I could see the MTV. I should have got that right away because that was something I was glued to MTV.
Oh, me too, man. That's all I watched.
It was awesome because I remember going through it. We had our first VCR around that time too, and I remember listening and watching all these things and recording for 3-minute videos, 2 hours of 3-minute videos. I had to have them because, I mean, I never knew when we'd be playing them again. So, yeah, that's funny. Wow, that's pretty interesting. What was the other one that you had?
Dylan.
Oh yeah.
The electric guitar.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Because he had this following, this folk following.
Right.
This huge folk, and he came out with electric guitar and he booed him off stage.
That's weird to think of, that he would ever be booed.
But he never went back. He changed his music, and look what he turned into. He turned into
what year was that?
Superstar.
What year was that to be?
The year was 65. July 25th, 1965.
Wow. Huh. Well, that was definitely.
He came out with a Fender Stratocaster.
Yep. That was the thing to have back that day.
And he sang like a Rolling Stone.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised that, speaking of Rolling Stones, that they weren't one of the groups or one of the things.
Rolling Stones changed history too.
Yeah, they did. They're out there still doing it.
Still to this day.
Even with one dead person in that. It's crazy. That's.
I don't know how Mick has the energy to do what he does.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? He has the best life in the world because, I mean, he's doing what he wanted to do all his life, and he's doing it till he dies, basically.
Till he dies.
And if he wanted to, he could quit anytime because he's got all the money he needs.
He's got all the money he needs for his great-great-great-grandkids.
Yep. That's wild.
And they'll reap the benefit of him for decades.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Because his music's not going to go away.
See,
the Stones aren't going to die. I mean, you go every generation, Beta will have Stone followers.
Mm-hmm. Christine put quadruple.
Generation Beta will have Leonard Skinner followers, and they'll have Rolling Stone followers.
Christine put quadruple in the chat room, and I don't know if that's for music or if that's for thinking that Quadrophenia was I don't know, but yeah, I think that's really cool. That was a good article. I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I don't know if I agree with that because they missed the Wall, and I thought the Wall should have, and they missed Led Zeppelin, and I mean there was lots of Led Zeppelin stuff. I missed Van Halen. I mean I don't think I could have narrowed it down to 5. Because thinking about that, Van Halen came.
That's just one writer's opinion.
Yeah.
It's just one person's
Well, maybe for next week, we could both make our own 5.
There you go.
Because there's a lot, and I don't know how you could make 5 because there's so many, but there's so many bands out there that we grew up with. Just talking about the 70s and 80s.
That changed everything.
It changed the way that we listen to music. It changed, and not to mention, if you're talking about things that changed the music world in the 80s, or was it in the 90s, CDs.
Yes.
It changed it. You now, I mean, face it, we used to make mixtapes.
Yep.
And mixtapes weren't made very good because there weren't that, I mean, the quality wasn't there. We thought it was the greatest quality in the world. I had an 8-track tape deck in my car. You know, I took out the lighter and the ashtray, and the 8-track fit right in there. To me, that was the coolest thing. 8 tracks, man. You never have to change the tapes. It just keeps playing, you know, except you got bleed over from the other channels and stuff like that. But then CDs came out, or tapes came out, and then the CDs came out. And now what do we got? We got nothing. Now we got MP3 players, and even my car does not have an MP3 player. It plays Sirius satellite, it plays regular radio, and it plays internet radio, but it has no tape or no CD player.
No, because you hook
sync
up your phone.
Yes.
And you sync Spotify or Amazon or whatever you want to use.
Yep.
Pandora.
Yep.
And you play your music.
And that's fine, except if you're doing original music. Well, you can do it through your phone. I mean, I do it through my phone. I just have it on my cloud, and then I can listen to it on there. But, you know, the thing is, it's the world has changed so much. And, you know, like my phone controls my car. You know?
I remember back when I was toying with heroin. Never used it, but I was toying with it. I was around guys that used it.
Yeah.
And I was in this house, and in the basement, they had a reel-to-reel. And I thought I was in heaven. Because reel-to-reel at that time was so much better than cassette.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's funny. I remember Dowski and I made that recording of, we took little cuts of Pink Floyd songs, and we did an interview with Pink Floyd. I probably have that somewhere, and if I can find it, I should probably dig it out and see if I can use that on the show. I got to listen to the clips.
Well, that would be interesting.
That was fun. But he and I came up with that stuff, and it was really, really actually pretty cool. And I think I have the only recording around anymore, so I have to look and see. But it was.
I have a question. Do you still have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on CD?
I do.
Because you can't find it anymore.
Really? Oh.
No, I've looked. They have one series, but it's not complete.
Well, wait a minute. If I have it, it's on cassette.
Yeah.
I might have the DVD of the movie though. I have to look at it.
The movie you can find, but it's the original.
The original.
Yes. That's what I want. I want to hear it again.
I'm going to have to look for it because I think I might have it somewhere. Assuming that, geez, that's got to be, that's freaking 1980-ish.
Yeah.
I
remember we went to Bowski's.
I do have it on, you know what? I have
I sat and laughed my butt off.
You know what I do have? I have what you want. I got the MP3s.
You do?
I do, on my phone. I just remembered that, because I collected all that stuff. Yeah, I do have, I'm sure I have it. I will, when are you in town next? Oh, you won't be in town for a while.
February.
Oh, are you? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I still have my cousin and my sister there.
Yeah.
That's you, and I have other people I see, so yeah, we'll be coming back.
Okay, all right. I will, just remind me when, about a week before you're coming back, and I'll make you, well, I can give you it on USB drive.
That would be great.
That's the best way to do it, because then you can just plug it in and play it. I have not only that, but I also have a second series that Douglas Adams put out called, I got it right here. Hold on. I'll tell you what it's called. I think I got it. If it's not on my phone, I know I have it on my computer. Let me see here. Douglas Adams. Douglas Adams.
Dirk Gentry.
That's it. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the other one. I have that one too. So, yeah, Douglas Adams and Terry Jones did that. Terry Jones was with Monty Python.
Yeah.
So I do have I have that and Hitchhikers. And I think
I can just remember sitting in Bowski's and you'd be laughing your butt off before the joke came.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, you're cracking up, and I'm waiting for the joke. And then the joke came, and I laughed right with you.
It was good stuff. It was original.
Oh, it was great.
And the sad part is that the movies didn't do it justice.
No, it didn't.
Because your mind can come up with a lot better things than they came up with on that. I'd rather close my eyes and envision what it was all about than have them, put out their computer or their robot that. I mean, the robot was pretty pathetic, but it wasn't as pathetic as I was thinking it was. I was thinking of Robbie the robot, but with some kind of dementia or attitude, so it was funny. But yeah, I have the videos too. I think up in my library of stuff. So I just wanted everything.
That'd be cool.
And then I had the books.
I'll remind you when I'm coming.
That'd be cool because if you're coming,
I plan on coming and being in studio, so that's usually the plan I have.
Well, if you come at the right time, and actually, we're having a show April 12th, I think it is, for the wrestling.
Okay, if I can arrange it to be there, I'll be there.
I think that's the date, but I don't know. The paperwork is in the works, I know that. But that'll be an interesting show, too. You've never seen me in the ring.
I've never seen you in the ring, and also I've never seen you play live. Your band has got to get out.
Well, I agree with that, and we are actually working on some gigs. And actually, if you're in town, and I can steal you away on a Sunday morning instead of your church, you can actually listen to us.
That's okay. I can do it. I don't have a church in Harrisburg that I go to, so.
I would love to have you hear me play and hear me in person rather than the tapes, because I've got some talented people that are really, they're actually really good. If I'm the weakest link,
you're pretty good. You're pretty good.
I shouldn't say that because that sounds very obnoxious, but for as long as I've been playing, these guys have been playing the same. 3 of them are my age, and it's kind of cool. So, here's something interesting. Dirty Dancing and Beverly Hills Cop are among 25 movies added to the Library of Congress National Film Registry. And that's according to NPR. And Wrath of Khan. So that's interesting. So those are, it says here, for the first time, a Star Trek movie is joining the list because of the enthusiastic lobbying through the fans. Although selections are made by the National Film Preservation Board, nominations from the public are encouraged in the process. That's kind of cool. It says here
the Wrath of Khan was their best.
That was I'm actually thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to have to watch all of them.
Who was Khan?
Khan was Ricardo Montalban.
Montalban.
And he drove him.
He played it so great.
Well, that's because he drove a Cordoba. That'd be funny if his ship was named the Cordoba.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I would do. But it says here the best known films being added to the whatever I call it, registry are Dirty Dancing, Beverly Hills Cop, Uptown Saturday Night, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Social Network, and Spy Kids. Each year 25 films are added to the registry. Usually it's a mixture of blockbusters, obscure but important independent films, and historical footage. All selected to highlight the depth and breadth of American film. And so it's cool that Star Trek II made it, though. I never would have guessed that would have. But I got to say, among the 5 movies selected this year featuring prominent Hispanic artists or themes, including American Me, Mi Familia, Spy Kids, and the first, you're going to love this, the first Cheech and Chong movie to be added to the registry. Who would have thought? When we were watching that movie back in the 80s, we were lucky to even see that film made, because that was so outrageous back then. But it was a cult classic, and that thing, how could you not?
It's a cult classic. Mike, I watch it now, and I just laugh. I'm straight, and I just laugh.
Here's other selection.
None of my family understands it. They all think it's the worst movie they've ever seen.
Oh, it is. It is the worst movie, but it's still a classic. And me being a guy that was really anti-drug, especially when that came out, I couldn't tell anybody that I watched it, but I did watch it. It was. I didn't think it was a great movie, but it was still a good movie because it was so outrageous.
It's not a great movie. It's just a classic.
Some of the other selections with significant contributions by black directors include Compensation. I don't even know what that is. Ganja and Hess. Never heard that one. Uptown Saturday Night. Never heard that one. And Zorn Luthun Student Films. I don't know what that is. A little seen 1981 movie Will, about a former basketball player struggling to overcome addiction, is widely considered to be the first independent feature film directed by a black woman, Jessie Maple, and trailblazing cinematographer and director. 2 movies this year to represent deaf culture and characters. Patty Duke and Anne Bancroft won awards for their roles in Helen Keller and Annie Sullivan in 1962 Miracle Worker. I just think it's really cool that they actually are giving this. Oh, here's the list of the list of films selected for the 2024 National Film Registry in chronological order. Annabelle Serpentine Dance is 1895. 1928, Coco's Earth Control. 1938, Angels with Dirty Faces. I've never heard of any of these. 1942, Pride of the Yankees. This one I've heard of. Invaders from Mars, 1953.
Yes.
The Miracle Worker, 1962. The Chelsea Girls, 1966. Ganja and Hess, 1973. Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Uptown Saturday Night, 1974. Zorn Luthun Student Films, 1976 and 77. Up in Smoke, 1978. Will, 1981. Star Trek Wrath of Khan, 1982. Beverly Hills Cop, 1984. That's cool that made it. Dirty Dancing, 1987. That had to make it, because that was a chick flick that everyone liked. No one backs Baby in the Corner, I think is the correct one. Common Threads Stories of the Quilt, 1989. Pow Wow Highway, 1989. My Own Private Idaho, 1991. American Me, 1992. Mi Familia, 1995. Compensation, 1999. Spy Kids is 2001. No Country for Old Men, 2007. And The Social Network in 2010. So that was kind of an interesting idea. I didn't even know that there was a registry like this.
What year was Up in Smoke again?
Up in Smoke was 1978.
78, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting. I thought you'd like that. Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah. So they do that every year.
Yeah, I never heard of it. This is the first year I've heard of it. Okay, then we got... Oh, you have another one yet. You have another story, right?
It was just about dementia. There, real quick. It's 2 in 5 people in the United States have dementia over the age of 55.
You know, that is a good. This is a good, interesting article, because I don't know if this is the same article or not, but there was something I read that said that that in what was the age that you said?
55.
Yeah, this is the highest it's ever been for dementia from 55 on up. Go ahead. Is that what the article is?
And there's around 500,000 people with dementia in the United States, and by 2060 it's supposed to be well over 1 million.
Wow.
It's growing. And they think it has to do with poor diet and lack of exercise.
Huh. Wow. I had seen that article, and I was going to capture that article, and I didn't know. I
think it was the 1440. That's what you use, right?
The what? Oh, yeah. That's where it was. Yes, that's the one. I knew I saw it somewhere, and I almost took it, and I thought, I don't know. And then I thought, well, I'm glad you did bring it up, because I was really close to doing it. I might even have it in my other notes of the non-entertainment stuff, because I saw this stuff, and I like to definitely talk about this stuff. So this is
women are 48% chance of developing symptoms compared to men at 35%. But guess what race has it the worst? Black Americans.
Oh, I was going to say that, but I didn't know if that was racist or not.
Well, it's just a fact. Black Americans have dementia the worst.
Wow.
And it has something to do with the gene that they carry.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, they're also highest in sickle cell anemia.
Yes, so, I was thinking that.
You know.
Interesting.
It's a gene that they have, unfortunately. And women get it more than men. So, you know, I'm waiting for Patty to go so I can steal her millions.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. Oh, maybe she's waiting for you to go so she can steal your millions.
She ain't getting $1 million out of me.
Oh.
It'll be $1 million mistakes, not $1 million.
She may have 1 million pages for the book she's going to write.
All saying the same thing. He was a jerk.
Well, just let her know that I'll help her write the script.
The early years.
Yeah, I might do a radio show tomorrow. Not Trash Talking Radio, but there's a wrestling radio show that records in York, and I haven't been on it in good 15 years. But they've been asking me to come on it, so I might end up going and do it. That's going to be on Facebook. But I might do it tomorrow. Depends how busy I am, but I really should do it because I've been promising them I would come on. This guy, Wolfman, who helped me, he helped me a little bit in the business because I needed work locally, and he got me when I got into my big fight with my ex-partner. He said I'd never work in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania again. So I worked in York, Pennsylvania, which isn't too far from here. And that fulfilled my needs for working in this area. But Wolfman has always been good to me. And you know, I wouldn't mind going on there. We're going to promote our show over the next 3 months. So I wanted to start promoting it. I might start promoting it tomorrow. But I'm so busy. I'm not so sure I can get down there because I got to get this stuff done that I've been trying to work on. Haven't decided yet, but might be good to do. I could go in there and I mean I call in every once in a while because actually they how do I say this? They need content.
Okay.
That's the best way I can say it. I like Wolfman, and I think he's a good guy, and I've known him for a long time, and I don't mind helping him with his product. But he used to own a promotion. He doesn't own a promotion anymore, and this is kind of his last. I guess he's going to do. He did say something about working some places with some other things about he can't wrestle as much as he used to because as you get older you just don't have the draw. You don't have it in you. I mean, it's like me. I stopped managing quite a bit ago because I just don't have the strength to do the stuff I used to do. Those taking the bumps, they add up. And I can tell you that Wolfman does crazier things than I've done, but I don't know. I have to make a decision about this. I might wait a week or two, but I might do it tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. I kind of like to get on the show and help them spice up their show a little bit. So that's kind of egotistical, I guess, sounding. It's not meant to be, but it is.
Well, if they need content, I get.
Well, especially if they don't like they like to play clips of other people's matches and stuff. Well, they didn't have, for some reason, weren't able to play clips last week. So when I saw them online, I was listening to, and I thought, well, that's weird. They don't have any clips, and they were sitting there and didn't have anything to talk about. So I called in and gave them stuff to talk about, and I just thought, well, I could help get their thing going for if they need me to. So I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet because I got so much stuff going on, and I just got to make sure that I get everything done. Huh.
Mike, that's not egotistical. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see their stuff working. I did a lot of fun things in his promotion. I used to. Nice thing is, a lot of the promoters gave me usually the right way to do things is you show up, and the promoter says, you go against him, and you do this, and you do this, and you do this. And whenever I showed up at a promotion, they said, what do you want to do? Because they knew that I was going to give whether I'm managing or whatever I'm doing, I'm going to give them what they paid for. I will always go above and beyond. And the stuff I'm doing now, I'm really not doing anything in front of the house other than that angle with the owner of APP, which I am co-owner. So that's where we're running into our problems because we're having issues between the two of us, and that's the angle. So I haven't wrestled any matches. I've just been there, and he did knock me out with with my belt the one time, and the other time is I clotheslined him, but we didn't do it. We haven't been in the ring for a match yet. It's coming. I'm just not sure when it's going to happen. I'm dragging it out because I've got some other ideas for making this angle drag out without either of us getting hurt.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get in the ring, Mike, make sure you take your crutches with you.
Yeah, because they're good. They're good weapons. I mean, yeah. But it's interesting because we have been talking about growing the business and trying to find out that there's some grant money out there that we're looking into because we're looking at getting a building and having our own studio and our own school and stuff. So he's going to look at the building tomorrow morning. So we'll find out.
Cool.
Yeah, I like Amadeus.
You need more things to keep you busy.
Yeah. I'm thinking of using my DNA and cloning myself, but I don't know if I can handle being around myself 24/7.
No, you send that product out.
Yes. But it's fun. It's I can honestly say, in my whole life, I've never been this into everything that I'm doing. Everything I'm doing, I like doing. And where do you live a life that you get to do the things you like to do? I can't. I mean, I'm very fortunate, and I mean, I certainly went through a lot of crap to get here, but I made it through the crap, and that's a good thing. And I'm thankful for everything I've got.
I'm never bored, Mike. I do things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Just like you, and it's a pleasure. It's not everybody has this.
That's the thing. Most people say, well, people keep saying, well, why do you do everything you do? Well, because it's not work.
You enjoy it.
It's not work. I've spent my time working. I certainly have done my share of work, and And people say, well, you're busier now than you were when you were working. Well, I might be, but it's not like work. I mean, even that editing, even all the time I put into that editing, I've learned a lot, and I've felt that I've improved my skills. And, you know, I'm making something for other people to enjoy. This product, if we get this flocked sign, man, that's going to be life changing. You know, to take my art to another level. You know, I took my music as far as I could, but this could take my music to the next level too. So it's just, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm not hating things. I'm not that I was a hater. I mean, I learned to appreciate things once I straightened my life out and figured out that there are other ways to do things and other ways to appreciate things. So, you know, I don't have anything to complain about. My life is good. And, other than, so here's a kind of funny story. Like, I tried to flush the toilet, and it didn't flush. I was like, what's going on? And I looked at it, and it's like there was no water in the tank. So I played around with the I don't know what they call it, the thing that the water comes out of, and I got it working again. And then an hour later, it didn't go anywhere again. So I figured I'm going to have to replace that piece. So rather than being upset and angry and you know and swearing and all that, I just remembered that I happened to have one of those pieces around because I had bought it because I was going to work on the second bathroom. I was going to replace it there, and I decided I'm going to replace the whole toilet in the second bathroom rather than just replace that piece. So I took it and I tore it apart, and within 15 minutes I had it fixed. And it was funny because you know, I could have kept toying with it and getting it working for one or two flushes, then it would. But I just figured, what the heck? I got a piece, might as well put it together. And I remembered putting one of them in, and I remembered that it was easy, but I couldn't turn the water off. So once I took the thing off, I got the water to a fairly slow amount, but I couldn't turn it off. So I was sitting on the floor of the toilet as the water is surrounding me, and I replaced the thing and got it working perfectly, and you know.
Had to mop up the water.
Well, I did. It was mopped in my jeans. Actually, a couple of towels too. So I was glad that it went well and it went easy, and it actually wasn't that long of a thing. It just was a pain to have to do it just then and there when I was working on something else. But,
are you sure that was water in your jeans?
Yes, 100%. Well.
You're getting older now.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, you don't have to remind me. So, but anyway, I don't know what I was getting at, but just thought I'd tell a story of me doing work, so that people realize I actually do work every once in a while.
What else you got?
ABC News apologizes and pay $15 million to Trump.
Yep, to his library.
That just is amazing.
Georgie Stephanopoulos.
Ah, yes, I know that name. And it says here, where's it at? Here we go. There we go. Let's put it up on the screen. Oh, it didn't go. Why didn't it go? Should have gone. Try it again. There we go. Yeah, that's, to me, donated to a presidential foundation and museum established by Trump. So there you go.
And George had to pay $1 million of his own money.
That's crazy.
It wasn't ABC. ABC paid 14, and he had to pay 1 out of his own pocket.
Jeez.
He can afford it. He makes probably $25 million a year for how many years he's been doing this stuff.
What did he say?
He said Trump was a convicted rapist.
I
believe. But that's not true. He's an accused rapist.
Yes.
But he was convicted of sexual misconduct,
Yes.
not rape.
Jeez. That's
Now, to you and me, that may be mincing of words, but it was worth, that mistake was worth $15 million.
Didn't you say that about me? Huh. Oh, wait, you don't have that. I'll settle for a dinner out at the barbecue place we ate at.
Okay.
That was such a good place, man. That place, I forget the name of it, but it was good food. That was
We'll have to do that again.
yeah, I'd like to go there again. I like that place. Let's see, what else? Oh, there was also a not getting Diddy with it. It says Will Smith is shutting down any rumors that he partook in Sean Diddy Combs' notorious freak-off gatherings hosted by rap mogul that allegedly involved sexual assault and sex workers. Listen, I do enough of my own stuff, the Oscar winner and rapper told the audience at a recent San Diego concert. Don't be putting me in with other people's stuff. I ain't nowhere near that man, did none of that stupid stuff. So whatever you hear, if someone can say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil, so that's the Will Smith version of that story. And then there's another story about Jay-Z's attorney is looking to dismiss the lawsuit accusing the rapper of raping a 13-year-old at a 2000 party hosted by Sean Diddy Combs after the Jane Doe acknowledged inconsistencies in her allegations in a new NBC News report. Carter took aim at the plaintiff's lawyer in a statement. Today, investigative report proves that the attorney filed a false complaint against me in pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. So that's Jay-Z's stating of the party that he did not apparently partake in.
Well, the trouble is, if he didn't do it, his reputation is smeared.
Yeah.
And because once it's out, people don't read the fine print that he wins the court suit.
That is correct. Yes. Do I have anything else? I can throw that out. I can throw that out. Oh, this is interesting. Kim Kardashian, I see them as heroes. Kim Kardashian is again leaping to defend the incarcerated and those she sees as unjustly treated by the U.S. government, this time advocating for incarcerated firemen in an Instagram story posted over the weekend explaining how they are risking their lives to save Los Angeles County, or community, for just $1 an hour being incarcerated. They're getting $1 an hour. Kardashian then asked Governor Newsom to raise the pay for incarcerated firefighters so it's a rate that honors a human being risking their lives and their it says risking to save our lives and homes. So
Have you ever watched Fire Country?
No.
It's a TV show that talks about one of the things is that the main character was in prison and came out and worked for Cal Fire.
Okay.
And it was a whole group of people, of inmates that have earned the right to work as volunteer firemen.
Okay.
And they got paid about $1 a day.
Jeez.
Which is the going rate in prison.
If I'm putting my life on the line, I want a whole lot more than that. And I want time served. So.
Well, they do. They get early release. They spend so much time working for Cal Fire, and then if it's successful, they get so much time knocked off their sentence.
Wow. Well, that's an interesting way.
And they learn a skill.
Yes.
And then Cal Fire hires them.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know that.
So anyhow, there's a whole show dedicated to this. So I'm in favor of what Kim's doing. Because
Yeah, I am too.
put your
Because
life on the line, you should make more than a bucket.
yeah,
an hour.
yeah, it's crazy. Oh, okay. Here's another scam that I wanted to talk to people about, and explain why you got to be careful with this. I have Xfinity for my cable, and I got a. Let's see if I can bring this up. Okay, so I got an email that says that my payment did not go through. And it was from Xfinity. It looked like an Xfinity mail. It had their logo. It had all their stuff. And when you click to say, take me there, it brings you to this Xfinity thing. Except that it's not Xfinity. Up here, it says dcsview.icu, not Xfinity. So if you sign in here, let's say let's say that's my name. Okay, then it goes to enter your password. You put in your password, whatever password you would want. They expect you to put in your real login credentials, but you're looking here and you say, well, wait a minute. Oh, here it is, so I'm logging on. Well, that's how they steal your credentials and get on your email. So you got to be careful to look up here to see what if it, and I knew that it was paid because I had gotten a credit card bill a couple days before, and so I already was suspicious that my credit card was working because I knew I just got that, and that's what made me suspicious. But they did almost get me once with one of these, and then I reminded myself, wait a minute, did you just sign into a? So I went in again and changed my password with with the real one, because I knew that I got scammed. And everyone needs to pay attention to when you get the emails. The best thing to do with these emails,
it's just delete them.
Well, but you need to know if it's real or not. Do you know how to know if it's real? Other than looking up at the top. Do you know how to know it's real? What you do is, let's go to this one. Okay, now, let's say, okay, this guy's offering me a board seat. What you want to do is you want to look at this and look here, and actually, you can call yourself anything. You can call yourself Xfinity Master, but if you hit this will give you the whole email address. So you got to look and see what the email address is that they're, and like for instance, that Xfinity should have said xfinity.com on here. It should have said maybe security@xfinity.com or whatever it is. I have one up here that actually is Xfinity right here. Xfinity Mobile. Okay? Has started on your account. Support at Xfinity Mobile. Okay, if it says anything other than Xfinity Mobile, it might, it's probably a scam. It's probably not real. This one is real because I know what it is. But things you got to be aware of is that, customer care, PayPal. Okay, look here. This is a fake one. Mail.synchronybank.com. Says here your state. Oh, this one is real. Wait a minute. Sorry. This one is real. There is. I did have one in here that wasn't.
You know what I get? I get Easy Pass.
Okay, yeah, Easy Pass is the big one that it is going around now. But you got to be careful because it says when you see these things. Actually, when it's in the spam list, I usually can. Okay, let me find one. Lending Tree. This is probably not Lending Tree. Oh, that one is Lending Tree. I just have it set to go to junk mail because it's not real. But if you take a good look at at these things, you just got to look at who it's being sent from, and if it says, like, I'm looking to see if I have one in there that I can use an example. because it will. You have to double check the email address, because that Xfinity one, it came from not Xfinity, but it just said in the email, it said Xfinity, but that doesn't mean it's Xfinity, because this one was, wait a minute, let me pull that back up again. This one was DocView at ICU, docview.icu. That's not Xfinity's email address. And you also got to be careful that they don't put xfinity.bobscam.com, because that's not that is not Xfinity's address. That's bobscam.com. But you can have another, where the www, you can have another thing there. Now they're putting the Xfinity in the first block to make you believe that it's Xfinity. So these are all little things that most times they will get you, because who pays attention to that stuff? And when you do this, when you put this password in and it comes up saying, like if I put a password in here, let's see if I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to sign me in or not, because I didn't put a real name. Oh, it says your password's not correct, so it makes you put it in again. So they have 2 times to think that that you did it wrong. That if you put it in twice the same way, they're going to say that, oh, that must be your password. And then they go and steal your account. And that's the same way with Facebook, the same way with all these companies that they're stealing passwords and stuff. That's how a lot of people get that's how they get your account and change your account to their account and change your password so you can't get back on. You've had that happen to you, right?
Yes.
That's how they did it. You filled out to log in, quote unquote, to Facebook, but it wasn't really Facebook. It was some other thing. And I've got caught with that also. And each time I get caught, I realize it, and then I got to change my password, because I realize that they got it. They actually broke into Ken's Facebook. Ken doesn't use a Facebook and never used the Facebook. I had the account set up as a backup in case someone got into my account or shut my account down. But somebody broke into his account, and they were sending friend requests out to all kinds of people. And I'm logging into his account. I'm saying, well, why are we asking? Who asked? Why are there people that are wanting to be friends with him? Because nobody knows who he is. And then I realized that I started doing some checking, and I checked to tracking. You can do tracking on there to say where you signed in from. You can go into Facebook. There's a section. And if you see that people are signing in from Asia, chances are somebody's broken into your account. And that means change your account password immediately. And you can kick everybody out. Like if you're signed in different places, like this is signed in, upstairs is signed in, and my phone is signed in. Well, if I wanted to make sure nobody was in my account, I would kick all of those off, change the password, and then I check it a week later and see if anybody else is signed in from another country. You got to be careful, because they're notorious for ripping people off and stealing accounts, and then they go into, when they do it on Facebook, they'll go in to all your friends and pretend that they're you, except that they don't know who are. Like Pam's father and stepmother contacted me within the past 6 months. Well, they're both dead. So, and I knew they were both dead, but I also knew that they didn't know that they were dead, and I also knew that they didn't know what my relationship was. And the one time I messed with them, and I said, well, when are you going to pay me back the money you owe me? I'd say, well, you borrowed a lot of money from me before. And I'd start toying with them, and I'd start messing with them. And then I'd report them to Facebook to try to get them turned off. So that's the thing. I mean, scammers, they don't know who you know. They don't know why you know them. And the one time I said, well, I heard you died. I said, do you know who I am? Do you know how you know me? and they don't know. They're floundering at that point. And it's fun to mess with them when they're floundering. So, but anyway, those are all things that you got to be aware of when you're on the internet, because there's always somebody out there trying to steal your identity so that they can steal money from people. Yeah, that's. I keep finding these scams and keep finding these scammers. So, anyway, all right.
It's that time.
Yeah, it is. It's. I'm going to delete this so I don't talk about this one again. Yeah, I actually had quite a bit. Oh, I want to show this one. This is cool. Here's a video that I don't think I showed before, but I kind of want to show it because it's neat. A Florida gator drags a massive python across a pond. This is crazy. There he is. He's got this giant python in his mouth. Oh, man. I don't know if there... Yeah, there is a video. So here's the video. Oh, it's a little... Let's see, can I make that smaller? Or is that a video? Is it a video? I think it's a video.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
It's huge!
I like when a woman says that.
That's awesome! That is a massive python! Dude, that's gnarly. That's gnarly. This is so cool.
I mean, when you think about that, pythons are fairly big creatures. And the fact that gator took him, that's an amazing thing.
I wonder who won.
I would think that it's pretty evident. I think one of them is going to be eaten for the next couple days, and the other one's not. So, but pythons are not Florida creatures. So, someone got this python, it got too big for him, threw it out in the Everglades, and that's how he ended up dying at the teeth of a gator. So, anyway, all right. Well, I guess that's it. This is our initial show of 2025.
I think it was a good show.
Yeah. And I even froze and still was there. Oh, man. I got to figure out what caused that. So, because it did that to me 3 times before the show started. So I got to figure out what the issue was with that. All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. We got it.
Yeah, we did, and we'll have some good shows this year, I think. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening and watching, and hope you had a good time. And we're going to get out of here and do whatever it is that we do here, which I don't even know what that is anymore. Let's see if I have do I have it here? Do I have the exit on here? I know I have, I started using this again. I figured I got it here, I might as well use it. Do I have the exit though? I don't think I have the exit on here. It means I gotta play it the other way, the old-fashioned way. I have to do it this way. Oh.
Just